Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to episode 1, season 3 of the Prosperous Yogini Podcast. We are entering into our 4th year together. I have been doing this with you guys for the last 3 years, and there's quite a few exciting things to update you on. First of all, if you are watching on YouTube, I'm back in my cupboard. I have my Blue Yeti mic back. It was broken and my hubby fixed it. And you'll see that the cupboard is blue behind me. We've painted the cupboard under the stairs. Like literally, we are marking season 3 of the Prosperous Yogini podcast with some higher tech kit. Mike is back. The cupboard is painted. I am back in my cupboard under the stairs, and we are going to create a whole load of magic here. If you are astro curious, today, the day I'm recording this on, is Tuesday, the 25th of June. If you've been scrolling through Instagram, you will see everything about this being the luckiest day in the year. I'm astro curious, so I'm probably getting this slightly wrong, but it is my understanding that the Sun and Jupiter are in a cazimi. They're coming together. We have a new moon in Cancer tomorrow. I happen to be Cancer rising. This is all about Jupiter coming into a new cycle. I know, I can't really think, Jupiter's in my 10th house of career and public speaking. Jupiter is also about abundance, connection, community. And today is meant to be lucky. Anything you plant a seed for today is meant to be lucky. Now, can I just, little confession here? I wanted to do this podcast episode a little bit earlier than the end of June. Hasn't worked out that way. That's because lots of brilliant things, including new websites, new branding, hanging out in a Telegram group, testing out Telegram as a way of working and supporting you guys more. Not to mention, it's been really hot in Cornwall. The surf has been good, and we've had the summer solstice. Yes, there's a lot going on. No excuses. This was always meant to happen on this lucky day because the seed I am planting here, I'm just going to claim it before I get into today's episode. So we are at, in terms of downloads, and downloads don't actually measure people who listen to it and not downloaded. And also I put this podcast out on YouTube as well, so it's not counting the YouTube views, but downloads data alone, I am at over 12,000. I've got it written down here, 12,162 downloads. Not just that, according to AI and Google, that the amount of average downloads I get within 7 days puts my podcast in the top 25% of podcasts. And that does blow my mind a little bit. And when I realized this data, because I shouldn't really say this. I should be like, I look at the data really hard and let the data lead. I don't when it comes, and I do like data, and I will say that data is important, and do let the data lead particularly when you're questioning, like, why isn't X, Y, and Z working? I will always say, well, okay, how do you feel about it? And what does the data say? Because sometimes it's like, I absolutely bloody love this. This is what I want to do. But the data says not many people know about it yet. So therefore, I've just got to carry on, right? There's an example of where letting the data lead is really important. But when it comes to the podcast, I don't. And I'll be honest, like in the earlier days, I was looking back, loads of reflection, been looking back and, cringing a little bit at some of the episodes, particularly in season 1, because there were times in season 1 when I was giving myself some grace starting out on this podcast journey, where I was thinking about, titles that would be really good for search engine optimization. What are people searching? What shall I talk about? Asking the internet, Uber suggests, ask the public, what shall I talk about? What are people searching? And those episodes are fine. But you know what? The episodes that are really good are the ones that have come from my soul, the ones that I've been activated and called to do, the ones that I'm just like, what am I going to talk about today? Boom, I'm being called to talk about this. And I have not really paid a lot of attention to the podcast data. It's been great to see that people have been downloading. It's been great to get to 10,000 downloads. It's been great to continue to grow, even after I've needed to step back from doing weekly podcasts. Guys, thank you for the support through that period as well. The Prosperous Yogini as of July. I mean, I'm not going to get 2 episodes in June. It's 25th of June. But as of July, it's fully my intention to be doing 2 episodes a month, bi-monthly. And I'd like one to lean more to those energetic, the unseen, the subtle side of business. And then one leaning towards, come on, maybe give me some strategy here. Just tell me what to do. Yeah, we will be in that vibe and in that energy moving forward into July. So there'll be 2 episodes a month. I can't guarantee I'll always stick to energy and strategy, because you know me, a plan don't always work for me. I like to feel, I like to channel, I like to activate, I like to choose, tap into my intuition and let all of that lead. All of that aside, when I realized that the podcast data was really bloody good, I was like, this question came up. Is there more here? Because I've got a purpose. I've got a mission, like genuinely. Welcome to season 3. Amy has arrived. I think it's fair to say that the last few years in front of you guys, I've been processing, figuring out, navigating, shifting from really where you found me in season 1, a yoga teacher, yoga trainer, really wanting to help yoga teachers who are predominantly female service-based yoga teachers make money, from where I am today, which is like, I can still help you if you're a yoga teacher 100%. I know the industry inside out. I've pretty much done everything when it comes to hat wearing as a yoga teacher. But I realized pretty early on into my career, my life as a business strategist, business mentor, who started off just focusing on yoga teachers, I realized pretty soon that the stuff I know and the stuff I was supporting yoga teachers to do worked for all female service-based businesses. Not just that, how about some product-based businesses as well? Like I have a broader mission. 100%. And I have arrived at this broader mission. The Prosperous Yogini podcast is for big-hearted. I just feel like this is so important. Big-hearted. Guys, we all, excuse my language, fucking care. We all care about our clients, the people we work and serve. We care about our community. We care about our friends and family. We care about the world around us. And money, time, joy in our hands is what the world needs right now. And I honestly, I'm just so in my purpose, so activated into my purpose, that bring on season 3. And I want to ask this question out there to the universe on astrologically the luckiest day of the year. And I'm getting massive goosebumps. Where can this podcast go? How big can me sitting in this tiny little cupboard, I think it's like 1 meter by 1 meter, good for recording podcast audio, by the way. How big can this podcast in this tiny little cupboard in the southwest corner of England, how big can it get? How many people can it help? How many people can I help to do what lights them up and make money? How big can I cast my mission, my purpose? So the first thing, guys, is please review the podcast. Please share and tell your mates. It really helps me to amplify the message here. And like, I do this for you guys. I'm here for you. This is why season 3, episode 1, I am going to get on with it, is all about you guys. I have got 4 questions that have come out of primarily the work I've been doing in Telegram. So for the podcast party, decided to do something different this year. I love to test and see and try new things. And I've used Telegram. I really love Telegram. I will talk more about Telegram once I've figured out if I'm going all in on it or not. This will be a future episode, and it will either be why I love Telegram or why I love Telegram, but I didn't choose to use it. Wait and see on that one. But I wanted to use Telegram to deliver like a private podcast audio series, Grow, Nurture, Sell, Also on Telegram, people can ask me questions and had a Q&A. So a couple of these questions have come from that group of people, and a couple of these questions have just come from either people I'm working with, or I also did a little question thing on Instagram. These are your questions, and I've picked 4 that I feel would give us all like a really broad spectrum of business. So shall we get going? Question number 1. This came from a yoga teacher. And the reason why I picked these 4 questions, because I really do feel like there's something in all of them that will resonate with you as all. And I think that really helps when we realize that we think we're alone, and we think we're the only one having these problems. We think it's working out for everyone else and not for us. And then when we hear the questions, we're like, and actually, like we're navigating all this shit together. Yeah. We absolutely are. And there's absolutely no reason why you can't be doing what you love, working in a way that you want to work, and making a shed load of money. I want you to know that. Everything else around that you've been told is a lie. Okay, let me get on my questions. So number 1 is a teacher, a yoga teacher, who had been an established teacher teaching since 2021 in an area, and then life circumstances meant that they had to move about half an hour away. It was further enough away that the existing client base that she had weren't really prepared to travel to classes, and she was in a situation where we're starting from beginning, we're starting from fresh. She put out some classes, a couple of classes, put out a blocker for booking, and that thing that none of us want to have happen to us is nobody booked on. So that's tough. Can I just acknowledge that is tough, right? Then she's away over the summer, and her question was, I really, I want to teach yoga in this area that I've moved to. I am away over the summer. I'm starting back in September. What can I do over the summer months to prepare to start classes in the autumn in my new area? And I thought this was quite interesting, because I knew she was leading with like, how can I show off on social media? And obviously this came from the Telegram group, and the Telegram group was all about growing an audience, nurturing an audience. So when you make an offer into them, you've got people that are ready to buy, plus the people that are ready to buy know they like you, and you probably like them. You've been hanging out together for a bit, right? And yes, I was like, yep, you can definitely leverage one of the broadcast channels of social media to let people know about you as a yoga teacher, your experience as your yoga teacher, tell your story of moving to a new area, classes coming in this new area as of September, all of that stuff. But what I thought was really important was she understood that this was local marketing, that what I think had happened when she started these classes is what so many of us do, is a few posts on social media, think that's selling, and think that off the back of those posts on social media, if we don't get people booking on, then we failed. And I went and checked her website, beautiful looking website, nothing wrong with the website, except when I went on, and really the first call to action was book here, book a class now. Great call to action. If people are ready to book a class, if you are ready to take class bookings. And in this case, she wasn't. Classes weren't starting until September. I think she wanted to start advertising them in September. And that call to action, book a class, I clicked on it, and there was just information about classes she taught, not where she taught, not anything about a new area and moving and being an established teacher, but now in a new area and coming soon. Just none of that. There was just information about classes. So I could have come across her website and gone, oh, this looks nice. Oh, she's not offering classes at the moment. Fine. So what would I say to someone in this situation? It's local marketing. You're in a new area. It's exactly the same as you've moved to a new area and you don't know anyone and you want to make some friends. How are you going to make some friends? You've got to put your boots on the ground. You've got to get out, and you've got to go and have human to human interactions. So the sort of like, just parking that aside for a moment, the systems I would put in place, like I would sounds a bit weird, but the image that comes up is a holding pen. It's June, from September, you're going to relaunch your business in this new area. Anyone that comes across you on social media, on your website, and any other broadcast channel where you are appearing, what I mean by that is, are you on in Facebook? Are you on TikTok? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Pinterest? You do not need to be on any of these things, but if you are, these are your broadcast channels, right? Do you have a closed WhatsApp group, for example, where you've collected people? Do you have a mailing list? Wherever you collect party invitations, people are coming into your world, your contacts, then this is the message that they want to receive. I'm teaching classes in this area. I've moved. Classes restarting in the autumn in this area. Be on the wait list. Be on the wait list, because people love a wait list to start with. Plus, I arrive on your website. Oh, I can see that you're an established teacher. I can see that you've had established classes. I can see you now in this new area where I happen to live. Woohoo! I love to come and do yoga with you. Classes aren't starting to the autumn. I'm interested in this. I'd like to be reminded about this. I give you my email. I join the wait list. I'm going to be first to hear about the classes. People love a wait list. You know what it's like when you're like, oh God, I love that. I'm going to forget about that if I don't do it now, if I add my name to the wait list. So all parsley to Rome then. When you're on social media, when you're sharing your story, when you're talking about your new area that you're living in and classes that are starting in September, it is all pointing to the call to action, join the wait list. So that's the system we're funneling, for want of a better word, anyone who may be interested in doing classes in your local area that comes across you, regardless of the platform, they're going on to your email waitlist for classes in September. And now you're starting to collect people who are interested in classes in September. Then once you've set those systems in place, whenever you appear on your broadcast channels on social media, or parsley to Rome or parsley to my waitlist, because what I want is a group of people that are ready to start classes with me in September. We have our lovely time on our holidays, and knowing those systems are set up, we come back and we're ready to hit the ground rolling in September. Yes, post on social media. Yes, post in local Facebook groups. Yes, email everyone who's on your mailing list that may be interested. Yeah, get in contact with your old clients who used to live about 30 minutes away. Don't make the assumption that they won't come. Don't make the assumption that they don't know people in your new area and will help spread the news. Yes to all of those things, but you're going to put your boots on the ground. And this is what I want all of you to do that has an in-person local business, as well as having a Google Business Center listing. So if people search your services, you come top of that page on that little map thing. But this is like a non-negotiable. And I know you're going to go, oh, that sounds a bit uncomfortable, Amy. But you're going to do this, guys, because you want to share your gifts with the world, help people and make money, right? You're going to get out there into your local community with your flyers, walk into local businesses, cafes, shops, and say, hi, I'm Amy. I run a yoga class in whatever building down the road. Can I leave some flyers here? Would you be interested in sharing this with your customers? If it's a cafe, oh, I have a daytime class, I could recommend that they come for a coffee here. If you'd be happy to give them 10% discount, I'm happy to take the your loyalty cards in exchange for some leaflets. Reciprocity, supporting other businesses helps us support yours. Now you're going to go into some of these places and some people aren't going to want to have a conversation with you. That's awkward. I get it. But move on, because getting out and talking to people locally and letting people know, networking is another way of doing this. If you do know friends and family in the local area, again, get them to help you. Get clients that are coming to classes to take your flights and tell other people. Get people to help you with the ripple effect of momentum, but get out into your local community. Get away from the phone, get away from the computer. If you have an in-person business, this is essential. Have in-person conversations. And I've got a largely online business, but in recent months, I've done a little bit of networking, and I want to say every time I've got away from my computer, away from my laptop, and done networking in person, despite the fact that I have not just a business confined to Cornwall, it's made a big difference, a huge difference. Okay, question number 2. This is an established teacher, yoga teacher and life coach, and she also works part-time employed. Due to health issues, she's had to cut back all her, and she called it a side hustle. And I was like, I did challenge that. I don't mind the term side hustle, guys, but I want to say this. It is very common, if stroke normal, for many people who are self-employed to have some employed work running alongside, particularly if you're growing your self-employed body of work and the employed work is supporting you while you're growing that business. I did that back in the early days. Absolutely. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't have done that, if I hadn't had the support of my employed work while I was figuring out how this self-employed stuff worked, and I had the support of being able to not necessarily have to make money on this because I knew I had X coming in each month. Like, really, really important. And there's no shame. You do not have to work full-time self-employed to be successful. You do not have to be self-employed on any level to be successful. What matters is you do what works for you and your personal circumstances. And in many cases, it is really common to see employed work running along self-employed work. And the self-employed work is not less important. It's not a side hustle. It is another stream of income. And money mindset tells us multiple streams of income is what we would need to cultivate in our lives. Also, that term side hustle, it's like, you're not hustling, you're sharing your gifts, your skills and experiences on the world. So we can call it a side hustle if you want to, but it's way more than that. It is your self-employed body of work that at the moment, given to life circumstances and health issues, which if this person is listening to podcasts and they know I'm talking about them, I'm sending you a whole load of love, my darling. And then I'm sending a whole load of love to everyone out there who may be juggling personal health issues, or perhaps close friends and family members' health issues and caring duties alongside building their self-employed body of work. Women, we are fucking amazing. Okay, so what the power is with this person is she knows it's literally 2 hours a week that she's got. That's it. That's all she's got to dedicate to her self-employed body of work. All right, side hustle is easier to say. Right, but she's 2 hours a week. Now, there's a lot of power in that, because one of the things I think is really common that I see is people feeling frustrated, like they're not good enough, that they failed, that they should be further along, that they can't do everything that they should be doing. I feel completely overwhelmed. And then when we step back and think, well, reality is, what time have you got to dedicate to this amongst everything else that you may need to do in your life and want to do in your life? Because ladies, self-care, time for self-care really matters. It really matters to me that I have time to get in the sea. It really does. It really matters to me that I have time to be with my family. It really does. So when we know how much time we've got, then we can set realistic expectations of that time, because in many cases, women are immensely hard on themselves, set incredibly high standards, and are unrealistic about what actually they're going to achieve in the time that they've got. I am just putting my hand up to all of that, right? This is not Amy has a go at you lot because she's perfect. This is Amy points out everything that she knows she suffers from, and if it resonates with you, we are in this together. But 2 hours a week, and the question was, I've got 2 hours a week, what would be the best thing I could do in those 2 hours a week to keep my side hustle alive? And I love this question, because I absolutely could have gone down the route of, well, like obvious 1 hour on marketing, growing an audience, nurturing your current audience, batch your content, repurpose it across your broadcast channels, 1 hour on some form of deliverable. And that could be, 1 hour, like probably an online thing, ideally a scalable thing. And that's not bad advice. But what came through to me for this person is, you've got 2 hours a week. The best thing you can do in that 2 hours a week to grow, maintain, and nurture your self-employed body of work, the gifts that you want to share with the world, what you're being called to activate to help people, the best use of that time is for you to be so in your zone of genius and be in the place where it is most easy for you to be. Where do you feel most lit up by what you do? What feels most effortless for you? Because if it's like, I fucking hate creating content for social media, an hour of this a week is going to drain my life force, then don't. Interestingly, I did come down on the sort of like side of what I would do, which would be Substack. If literally 2 hours a week, I'd Substack it. And the reason why I'd lent towards Substack in this instance is it kind of does, it's an all-in-one. It does email marketing, it grows an audience, and it allows you to nurture an audience, and it also allows you to sell, because you can put part of whatever you're putting out in Substack, and it does not have to be written. It can be podcast, it can be audio. I saw a yoga teacher the other month literally using Substack to sell her online yoga membership, and I was like, epic use of Substack there. I lent towards Substack as an example of what she could do, but ultimately the most important thing in those 2 hours is she does what lights her up, what feels most easy. And we don't assume, which could be easy, well, I've only got 2 hours, I won't make any money. That the grow, the nurturing, and the selling can all happen within that 2 hours. It would be one offer. It would probably be an online offer, and it would be one where I'd be in it for the absolute long game. But there's the magic, that I'm just going to do this, and every 2 hours every week, I'm just going to turn up. I love doing this. I'm going to be in my flow. What does this sound like? It sounds like my podcast. I turned up every week for 3 years, near as damn it, and now I've got over 12,000 downloads, and we're going to grow, baby. Okay, question number 3. It's another yoga teacher, but she has also recently trained as a life coach. Up until this point, she has been running classes, really busy, successful classes, community, adding on to that some workshops, mini retreat type things. What she'd like to call in terms of a new layer into her offer suite, is a one-to-one program, not the one-off, one-to-one yoga class, not even the packages of buy 4 one-to-ones, which I really recommend you do if you're your one-to-one offer, but a program, a defined program. And she's like, well, how on earth do I sell this? I'd like to sell it, I'd like it to be a higher priced offer, I'd like it to be over a set amount of weeks, have a name, have a promised transformation, all those things, tick tick tick, that we're told that we need. But my clients are used to paying for yoga classes, not necessarily parting with 1,000 or 2,000 pounds for my life coaching program and services, which are far more intense. And and this is the sort of stuff that needs to be more expensive. If you come and work with me as a business strategist, business mentor in close proximity, listen, it is going to cost you quite a lot of money. It has to, for me to be able to work in that close proximity with you, to be able to show up with the energy and support that I do for my one-to-one clients. Like, the energy exchange has to be in balance. It's not a cheap service. The podcast is free. I have a Substack. It's £4.40 a month. I have other lower price offers. Like, this is how we build out an offer suite that meets the needs of people where they are. But going back to this person, how does she start selling a higher price ticket offer when she hasn't been up until this point? I get it, right? I absolutely get it. And I also get like the challenge we have when we start to have a higher price ticket offer and we start to question our prices and put them up. It's an ongoing wrangling issue for me, and one that I'm happy to work with you guys through as well. We're on the journey of healing our money mindset together. So the reality is, when we're selling into a higher price ticket, higher price offer, whatever it is, whether it's a retreat, whether it's a one-to-one program on some level, whether you're a coach and it's your one-to-one package, a higher ticket offer, right? And I'm not even putting a boundary on price there, because that's also going to be relative. But who is going to buy my higher ticket offer? More than likely, people who are already giving you money. This is the first thing for someone to, because we're thinking about affordability, the price. Well, yeah, it matters, but actually a higher ticket offer is asking someone probably to work closely with you over a period of time on some sort of transformational goal, right? That's a big commitment. The money is a side note, honestly, for most people in who are looking at offers in this range. And that's the other thing you've got to understand is we assume people can't afford it. There's people looking for this stuff. There's people looking and waiting for you to offer this stuff, right? Okay. But the people who are going to buy it already have probably given you money, already know you, already feel connected to you, already energetically vibe to you, already trust you, and already feel confident to hand over a larger sum of money on the promise of working closer together. So the people you're going to sell this one-to-one program with to start with are the people that come into your yoga classes. And I think when we're starting out and we've got something new, it can be worth having a few guinea pigs, having a few beta prices. I'm not saying do this for free, but a reduced price. But the people who are already, there are people already in your world ready to buy this offer, 100%. You just need to tell them about it, and not just tell them on social media, on your email, but at the end of your classes, have conversations. Be even braver. Feel into this offer. Feel into the clients and people you know that are coming to classes and feel like, you know what, that person, I'd love to work with them on this. And make them an offer. Approach them. This is how you start. Then as we go on, you're going to get people going through your program, having great results, having testimonial, sharing social proof, and then more people, broader audience beyond just those that have worked closely with you are going to start to show an interest in this program. And now we're looking like, well, how do I funnel that word funnel again? How do I funnel those people that might be interested in my one-to-one offer in closer? Once you're full, you can have a wait list. You can have an application, you can have expression of interest, those sort of things, a way of calling people in closer. But it starts by making a few sales, and those sales are going to come from the people that are already in your world. You've got to tell them you're doing it. And the reason why we don't is we fear that no one's going to say no. We're scared we're charging too much. We don't want people to think we don't want to be a yoga teacher anymore. This is adding in another layer. Do it. Last question. I didn't promise how long this podcast was going to be. I've learned after 3 years to never promise it's going to be short. Last question is, it's another yoga teacher who, but this is going to apply to any of you Pilates yoga people thinking about a low-cost membership, something that is like a library. So I've got a yoga teacher who is launching an online library. Everything is pre-recorded. She's not delivering it live. So online yoga library, which I can subscribe to, membership style, low-cost membership style. And how do I launch it? Is the question. How do I launch it? Now, there's some nuances here. This is an established teacher who's been teaching in person for many, many years and has an established community of people coming to class. So it goes almost back to the question above. And this is what I love about pricing and offers, because there are some differences, but overall the principle is the same. I've just been talking to you about higher ticket offers, higher price one-to-one programs, right? And now I'm talking to you about low cost membership model, something anything low cost actually counts as, I think, anything below 97 or 49 pounds is all completely made up. This is 12 pounds a month. This is like a low cost membership model. How do I launch it? How do I sell it? How do I grow it? Guess what? The people who are going to buy this, first of all, already in your world, already come to yoga with you, are sitting there on your mailing list waiting for this offer. I've been stalking you on Instagram for years, can't come to class because you don't live anywhere near them, but they love your vibe. So this doesn't need perhaps a big launch in terms of let's grow the audience, let's nurture the audience, let's sell. You've been growing and nurturing an audience for a while now. This is a perfect offer to sell to them. Not just that, the perfect offer to sell over the summer. People are busy, your classes are stopping as pausing over the summer holidays. Like, this is a great place to direct people. This is perfect. So launch it, get it out there with some form of launch offer, a founding price I quite like, or first 2 weeks free, first month half price, but some sort of like scarcity, get me in, come on in, don't wait until September, come on in offer. Now, once we've done that, and because it's a low cost membership, I think it does lend itself to evergreen selling. What does evergreen selling mean? It means it's open all the time. People can come across it and come in. Great. I come across it. I love it. I want it. I can come in. Reality of evergreen selling, we're humans. We often need a rocket up our ass to take some action. We'll go, oh, that looks nice. I really want to join. Next week, oh, that looks like, oh, let's join that. Oh, looks nice. I really must join. Honestly, we're all guilty of this. So evergreen selling requires us to have what I call some hit points, some offer points throughout the year. So imagine we've got this low cost yoga library membership. We've launched it in July with a founding price. That's the launch offer to our existing community through our broadcast channels, social media mailing lists, in-person conversations, WhatsApp groups, however you collect your audience and call them in closer. Then we're coming into the autumn and we'd like some more people to come into this membership. This is a scalable offer. This is why you created it. You can have 10 people, you can have 100 people, you can have 1,000 people, and the deliverability for you is the same. You just, the more people in, the more money you get to make, and the more people get to do yoga with you online. This is why making money is completely intertwined with sharing your brilliant gifts with the world, and they're not separate, and it's about both, my darling. Okay, so we're hitting autumn. We could have a back to school offer that could again look like 20%, 50% off the first month. We have Black Friday coming up in November. Now, I know what people do. They go, oh, I'm not going to be part of Black Friday. Listen, if you don't want to be part of Black Friday, my darling, that's fine. But meanwhile, all these big corporations that we might feel resentful for are making a shed load of money, and people in the buying zone. Why not be part of it? Why not get in on the action, right? And make some money and help some people. So we've got the Black Friday. Then we've got Christmas coming up. Great opportunity. Can access to your library be sold as a Christmas present? Can you bundle, instead of it having a monthly subscription, have it a 6 or 12 month? People can buy 12-month access. Oh my days. And then we're into January 2026. Guess what? New Year's resolution. We can have another offer. And it's these little offer points, like every 8 weeks or so, tapping into seasonal messages that can over time grow a membership. Because I know you'll scroll through Instagram and you'll see gurus on there, telling you you've got to have a low cost membership and get hundreds of people in your low cost membership, and you'll never have to work again other than run your membership. I won't lie. A good many years ago, I was in an email marketing membership, really good one. Liz Wilcott, I think, or Lizzie Wilcott was the name. It was $9. $9. It was great. I learned a lot about email marketing and how to write a good email from being part of this membership. She had 24,000 people. She's making nearly $24,000 a month, right, from her low cost membership. And it didn't matter whether she had one or that many people, the deliverability for her was the same. And it really opened my eyes. But that said, to have that many people into a low cost membership, you have to have a huge audience, and that might be you, but it might not be you, and it's certainly not me, and it's certainly not this person I'm talking about. So most of us, if we are going down the route of a low cost membership model, are here for the long game, growing it over time, making repetitive invitations into our membership with certain offer points, but also having the door open between those points, nurturing the people that are in there. Encourage, if you've got people in your membership, can they have an affiliate link? Can they be financially rewarded for bringing people into your membership? Can they get a month free if they bring in a new member? There's so many things you can do. The best thing to do is to launch it, know that people that are already in your world are going to come in, and then think about having those offer points and have fun. A side note to finish, guys, if you're like starting from scratch in terms of your audience and you're like, I love the sound of a low cost membership, you definitely would need to spend some time growing an audience. before selling an online offer. It goes back to that example I use very, very frequently. Got a lovely clothing shop. The clothes are divine. If I walked into your clothing shop tomorrow, I'd want to buy it all. But unless people know about your clothing shop, you ain't going to make any sales. And it's the same if you're starting from the beginning, and we all start from ground zero, my darling. But if you're starting from the beginning, take some time to grow that audience. It doesn't mean you can't make offers into them, and it doesn't mean you can't have a low cost membership. But often it is easier if our audience number is small to have a higher price one-to-one offer, for example, and grow that audience and build out our offer suite accordingly. But all of that aside, that's real strategic advice. All of that aside, do what lights you up, do what you're being called to and being activated to do. And if you're like, I really want to do this, I've got this great idea for this, I haven't got an audience yet, but I'm just going to start. I'm going to grow my audience alongside it, and I'm going to sell into this offer. I'm like, go for it. No waiting, no following Amy's advice if it conflicts with your advice. Tap into your truth, tap into your intuition, let the energy lead, and then take aligned action. I'm here to give you advice. I'm here to guide you. The person who knows your truth in terms of what you do need to do is you. All right, my darling, there is season 3 done. No, season 3, episode 1 done. God, I shouldn't find the counting of this hard, right? Thank you so much for listening to the end. Please leave a review. Please tell your mates. Please help me grow this podcast. The question is, where can we go with this? How big can we grow? How many people can get to listen to Amy in a little cupboard in the southwest corner of England, talking shit to herself? No, not at all. Sharing her gifts with the world, helping more women to do what lights them up and make money. We can all agree that this is one of the things that will make a big difference to the way we find the world today. All right, my darlings. And on that note, I will see you in July. 2 episodes in July. I'm just going to claim it now.